Warm greetings to all of you observing Veterans Day 2013. We're glad you are here with us today to remember and honor the men and women who have served America in our armed forces. Our nation owes these veterans a lasting debt of gratitude, and we can never fully repay. Let's take today to pay tribute to these heroes, learn about their achievements, and share their love for our country. Best wishes for a memorable Veterans Day. Please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I am your flag, author unknown. I was born on June 14, 1777. I am more than just cloth, shaped into a design. I am the refuge of the world's oppressed people. I am the silent sentinel of freedom. I am the inspiration for which American patriots gave their lives and fortunes. I have led your sons into battle from Valley Forge to the bloody jungles of Vietnam. I walk in silence with each of your honored dead to their resting place. Beneath the silent white crosses, row upon row, I have flown through peace and war, strife and prosperity, and amidst it all I have been respected. My right stripes symbolize the blood spilled in defense of this glorious nation. My white stripes signify the burning tears shed by Americans who lost their sons. My blue field is indicative of God's heaven under which I fly. My stars are clustered together, unify 50 states as one, for God and country. Old Glory is my nickname, and I proudly wave on high. Honor me, respect me, defend me with your lives and your fortunes. Never let my enemies tear me down from my lofty position, lest I never return. Keep alight the fires of patriotism, strive earnestly for the spirit of the mind. Worship eternal God and keep his commandments, and I shall remain the bulwark of peace and freedom for all mankind. Please rise and join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
When America had an urgent need, these brave ones raised a hand. No hesitation held them back. They were proud to take a stand. They left their friends and family. They gave up normal life. To serve their country and their God, they plowed into the strife. They fought for freedom and for peace on strange and foreign shores. Some lost their friends, some lost their lives in long and brutal wars. Other veterans answered the call to support the ones who fought. Their country had the requirements for the essential skills they brought. We salute each and every one of them, the noble and the brave, the ones still with us today and those who rest in the grave. So here's to our country's heroes. They're cut rest. Let's give the honor that is due to our country's very best.
Sometimes Salad. I'm a senior here at Manawa High School. First and foremost, I would like to let all of you know how sincerely honored I am to be able to speak here at this Veterans Day celebration. I cherish every veteran's sacrifice that he or she has made and envy their courage to fight for our nation's safety. I also believe it is very important that we recognize the families that have had to kiss their loved ones goodbye, not knowing if or when they're going to see them again. It is also my hope that we never forget the families that have been forced to endure the heartache of their loved ones never coming home. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as we recognize our veterans for their unwavering service to America. Across the country, people are taking time today to honor the brave men and women for their selfless sacrifice and their bravery. Every veteran has given part of themselves to the country, and some have given the country everything they have had, laying down their lives for our freedom that we take for granted every single day. Many have made the ultimate sacrifice. What makes one have a heart of a soldier? Is it their physical and mental strength to endure the loss of fellow soldiers? Is it their selflessness to sacrifice their lives so others can live free? Is it their courage they use to enter dangerous situations without any hesitation? Is it the love in their hearts, the love for their families and friends back home that drives them to carry out their duties? Or is it their never-ending patriotism that they use to feel to fight their battles for our beloved country, the United States of America? I think it's a combination of each and every one of these attributes that makes a soldier a soldier. Veterans Day is a time to honor not just those who have fought for us in battle, but in fact all the outstanding men and women who served in our nation's armed forces since our founding fathers more than 200 years ago. Not all veterans have seen wartime, but a common bond that they share is an oath in which they express their willingness to die defending this nation. They are our friends, our family, our co-workers, our neighbors. They are loyal, they are kind, they are honorable, and they are our heroes. It is up to us to ensure that every veteran feels that his or her service to our country is appreciated by their fellow Americans. There are many tangible ways we can acknowledge their sacrifice, but the easiest is to simply say, thank you for what you have done for our country. In closing, I would like to share a poem that has been written by a veteran. His name remains anonymous. In your honor, unselfishly you left your fathers and your mothers. You left behind your sisters and your brothers, leaving your beloved children and wives, putting on hold your dreams, your lives. On foreign soil you found yourself planted to fight for those whose freedom you granted. Without your sacrifice their cause would be lost, but you carried onward no matter the cost. Many horrors you had endured and seen, many faces had haunted your dreams. You cheered as your enemies littered the ground, you cried as your brothers fell all around. When it was over, you came back home, some were left with memories to face alone. Some found themselves in the company of friends as their crosses cast shadows across the land. Those who survived were forever scared, emotionally, physically, permanently marred. Those who did not now sleep eternally beneath the ground they have given their lives to keep free. With a hand upon my heart I feel the pride and respect, my reverence is revealed in the tears that now stream down my upturned face. As our flag waves above you in the glory and grace, freedom was a gift that you unselfishly gave, pain and death was the price you ultimately paid. Every day I gave my utmost admiration to those who have fought to defend our great nation.
officially ended when the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, in the Palace of Versailles, outside the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months earlier when an armistice or temporary cessation of hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. For that reason, November 11th, 1918 is generally regarded as the end of the war to end all wars. In November 1919, President Wilson proclaimed that November 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day with the following words: "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with a solemn pride in the heroism of those who died for the country's service, and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us, and it's because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nations." A congressional act approved May 13, 1938, made the 11th of November in each year a legal holiday, a day to be dedicated to the cause of world peace, and to be thereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. Armistice Day was primarily a day set aside to honor veterans of World War I, but in 1954, after World War II had required the greatest mobilization of soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen in the nation's history, after American forces had fought aggressions in Korea, the 83rd Congress, at the urging of the veteran service organizations, amended the Act of 1938 by striking out the word armistice and inserting in its place the word veteran. With the approval of this legislation, on June 1st, 1954, November 11th became the day to honor American veterans of all wars. Veterans Day is a very important holiday in my family. My dad was went in right out of high school into the Army as a private, spent 20 years in the service, retired as a major, served a tour in Vietnam. He passed 3 years ago. I know the times we talked about his time in Vietnam, what a soldier goes through is not easy. It's not easy what they do day in, day out. Right now, our armed forces across this country, what they have to deal with is a lot different than they dealt with in 1954. I'm very proud to say I'm an American. I'm very proud of all the veterans in this country, in this community, that are willing to put their life on the line so I can have the freedoms I enjoy as well as every other American. So from the bottom of my heart and from the staff here at Little Wolf High School, I'd like to thank all of our veterans who are here in attendance. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Could I ask those who are in the Army, if you can, please stand. Anyone from the Navy? The Marines? The Air Force? And let's not forget the Coast Guard. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the program.
The Things That Make a Soldier Great by Edgar Guest. The things that make a soldier great would send him out to die. To face the flaming cannon's mouth, nor ever question why. Our lilacs by a little porch, field between your bed, with grass plot where his children play, roses on the wall. 'Tis these that make a soldier great, he's fighting for them all. 'Tis not the pomp and pride of kings that make a soldier brave. 'Tis not allegiance to the flag that over him may win. For soldiers never fights the well, commander on the phone. As one behind, across the sea, a little bird called home. In danger but on the street, where on his children run, you make a soldier of a man who never bore a gun. What is it through the battle smoke the valiant soldier sees? The little garden far away, the budding apple trees? The little patch of downright day, children at their play. Perhaps a tiny mound behind, the simple church of gray. The golden thread of courage isn't linked to the castle dome, but to the spot, wherever it be, the humble spot of home.
It is my pleasure to introduce our community guest speaker. He grew up just down the road from where we sit today on lands near Highway 161 in County E. Many of you may not know him by name, but you will know him by what he began 40-some years ago, the Iola Old Car Show, and 22 years ago, the Iola Vintage Military Show. Many Manawa area organizations have worked at these events over the years to raise money for your organizations. Perhaps some of you here today have been a volunteer there yourself. But before his entrepreneurship endeavors with coins, cars, and a number of other hobbies that led to the formation of Krause Publications, the Old Car Show, and the Military Show, he was a soldier who served our country in World War II. His experiences and interest in the military have long lasted beyond his years of service, and we are happy to have him here today to discuss some of them. It's my pleasure to introduce this year's veteran community speaker, my great uncle, both literally and figuratively, Chet Krause.
Well, I certainly am honored to be here. You know, take care of Mother Nature first. I brought this walker along with me so I can sit down and be with you a while. Otherwise, I may not be up here very long. Pardon me, but I like this apparatus just to sit. Let me tell you that I am just not a stranger to Manawa. Well, I was born like 7-8 miles northwest of here. And my ties have always been to Iola because that's where I went to school. My mother was born here in 1885. Now, I'm sure there's none around that here at that time. But I think it's the second church, or second house, South Methodist Church. She had 4 sisters. Their name was Neil. And their background was Irish, and of course came from Lebanon. And so we've always had that family tie, community, and just having grown up around here, somewhere down in Manawa proper, the house that I built, you should understand that I was a carpenter before I did anything else in this world. And but all that aside, I got to know all these little eccentricities. Okay. My background is that having gone to school, I graduated my school in 41, and you didn't have to worry about a career. One in 4 places to go. You could go to the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Merchant Marine. And they had a great way of selecting who should go. I believe when you were 28 years old or younger, you had to register and your name was thrown into a hat and it was pulled out in some order and you were drafted. And I'm a draftee. And I certainly wasn't alone. There were 16 million of us. And so there's still got a few of us left today, but they're getting scarcer. That was a kind of a turning point. We knew where we were going, and we knew there was something there, but we didn't know quite what was going on. And it didn't unlike them all youngsters that are here today that are facing life in just a few years, they're going to have to cut their mother's apron strings. And I can tell you that I had trouble cutting mine. It was a kind of fast thing. You received a notice in the mail and you went to Waupaca and got on a bus. You were down in Milwaukee and you went through a physical line, and if you passed, and I didn't know anybody that didn't, but they stood up, you raised your right hand, and in a matter of minutes you were in the Army. And they really were good to us because they gave us a week's furlough right off the bat. We could go back home for 7 days and say our goodbyes, and on we went. And we went to Fort Sheridan, Illinois, and there, even those of us that got acquainted for a few hours were broke up, and we went to various camps around the United States. In my case, I traveled by train, first train ride I ever had, down to Texas. I trained there for a few weeks, and then I was assigned to Camp Davis, North Carolina. And the reason I had done that was because I had a high mechanical aptitude. For you who have never taken one of those, it's merely a test to tell you whether you have an aptitude. I didn't say that I was a mechanic. I said they said I had an aptitude toward it. And that was very fortunate for me because in the service I was a mechanic. I wasn't a gunner. I didn't have to shoot at people. I didn't have to fix guns. I didn't have to handle ammunition. But rather all I had to do was to know how to start a truck in cold weather. And when it was raining, I had to fix a lot of flat tires when it's about 10 degrees outside. And if you really want to treat me, you just treat yourself to that someday. So anyway, this was what I did in the service. About enough of that, I want to tell you that it proceeds. I did. I went to England. We did our material there. I was in an aircraft battalion. It's great because an infantry, when it goes to the front, the ones that have to shoot at one another, and in that area, unit, thing like that. Sometimes it's, you have things pretty type of, but anyway, about that, I'll tell you one very, very interesting experience I had. Toward the end of the war, and I'm going to guess that it was about April, with the war being over on May 8th, we were with armored divisions and so fast taking airports. And we would come in on board perimeter and aerial defense of that airport. Of course, Dwarf was practically gone. But anyway, we were in Weimar, Germany, and we heard that morning that there had been a concentration camp taken that morning, and so we decided to become its first tourists. And a truckload of us about and went up to the gates of this concentration camp. I tell you that having turned down the side road that led to it, I was fortunate that I looked down the back end of the truck and not the front of it, because out there was bodies strewed on either side of the road. And they weren't German soldiers, but rather civilians. I learned later that there had been a forced march out of that concentration camp, and that when and these inmates dragged behind in order to slow things down, the SS troopers of the German army would shoot them. And that's who I saw laying on the, they must have saw 2,000 or 3,000 of them in my, where you got the camp. Very, I didn't another so, and that's why I claim to be for tourists of that camp. But what's just on the adult, when we to the gate, I met about a 17-year-old boy who was our interpreter. And we were taken to a camp hospital who had 29 people in it. I rather expect they were handpicked by doctors, I don't know. I know there was a Supreme Court justice from Belgium. I know there was a man that played with Philadelphia Phillies. So they were kind of important people. And we were and there were two camps. The upper camp was for people like Slavians and Hungarians and other countries, and they were oh, we get instructions, right? Well, anyway, during I'd like to tell you, I can talk to you about it, but I'm afraid that's just a little bit impossible. But there were political prisoners from these foreign countries, but more importantly, in the lower camp was a camp of Jews. And I would tell you, eat for 30 days, but maybe it was 60, I don't know, but they were that I don't know, meat kitchen or any place that they could eat. And they ate the scraps from but nonetheless, I want to tell you something about death. Really get there's a thing very boy, no, that's the best thing I had done lately. But I wanted to tell you that in this camp, now mind you, there were furnaces where they burned bodies, and they were everything you ever read about a concentration camp was there. Little did I realize I was the first to ever see one. And but there's something I'm going to call the slits of death. And unless you have been around a dirty body that hadn't been washed for 6 months, and hadn't had a river or anything to wash in, it becomes a real experience. And if I don't care what you did in the Army, otherwise, and some of us did some funny things like, getting parked out in the field in the middle of the night and say, "You're to your camp tonight," and you want to, you don't have a pump tent, you don't have anything to crawl into, and get into the back of the truck, or you crawl under the truck, or whatever it might be. But the experience of that camp has stuck with me all these years, and nobody's ever came forward to say that they were the first tourists. I don't know if I was, but all I can tell you was there was no other military in the camp, and there was no vehicles there to indicate that others had been there. I might tell you that I could have brought home a club. It was looked like a baseball bat that had about a 6-inch end on it, where if they enough of them weren't dying on their own, they would take it, march you down the stairway, and you would turn, and somebody would hit you in the forehead with that club. And they would lay on this floor, and some other, I suppose, able-bodied men would pick you up. And if that wasn't bad enough to get killed, they'd pick you up and hang you on a hook on the back of your neck, like you would in a butcher shop or something like that. So anyway, enough of concentration camps. I am very happy to have represented our country, and I'm very happy that I've been allowed to live for 90 years. I'm more happy that I was here today. Thank you very much.
For our world by matters to panic. We need to stop, just stop for a moment before anybody says or does anything that may hurt anyone else. We need to be silent, just silent for a moment before we forever lose the blessed songs that go in our hearts. We need to notice, just notice for a moment before the future slips away in ashes of dust and of humility. Stop, be silent, and notice. In so many ways we are the same. Our differences are unique treasures. We are, and we say the gifts. To nurture, to offer, to accept. We need to be, just be for a moment. Kind and gentle, innocent and trusting, like children and lambs, never judging or vengeful, like the judging and vengeful. And now let us pray, differently yet together, for there is no earth, no life, no chance for peace.
I'm Bob Conroy from Beverly, and I want to do this to memorialize all of the men from Manawa High School who died in our wars. They should always be remembered. I'll start with Lieutenant Hubert Ritchie. Lieutenant Hubert Ritchie was in the class in 1934. He was an infantry soldier. He was killed in North Africa. Ronald Hahn, Rusty Hahn, they called him. Lieutenant Ronald Hahn, class of 37, a naval aviator, missing in action over the South Pacific. He was flying off an aircraft carrier. Lieutenant Duncan Sefford. Lieutenant Duncan Sefford was in the class of 36. He was an Army Air Force aviator. I believe he flew a P-38. And he was forced to bail out of his plane over New Guinea. And they, of course, listed him as missing in action. However, 30 days later, he walked out of the jungle and rejoined his unit. Later, he was killed in a non-combat aircraft accident. Mark Fitzgerald. Lieutenant Mark Fitzgerald, in the class of 39. He was an Army aviator, pilot of a B-17. He was killed in a mid-air collision, forming up a bomb group over England. Frank Nolan. Frank Nolan was in the class of 36. He was an infantry soldier in the 32nd Division. He was killed in the jungles of New Guinea. Albert Brigham. Albert Brigham was in the class of 35. He was an infantry soldier in the 32nd Division. He was killed in New Guinea. Paul Smith. Paul Smith was in the class of 43. He was an Army aviator crewing on a B-29. They left Tinian on a flight to Japan and never returned. He's missing in action. Melvin Taggart. Melvin Taggart was in the class of 45. He was an infantry soldier killed in Korea. Howard Gilbo. Howard Gilbo was in the class of 43. He was a Navy sailor, and he's missing in action. And a terrible accident happened to the USS Birmingham, which he was assigned to, and he's missing in action at sea. Melvin Hendrick. Melvin Hendrick was an infantryman, class of 36. He had a memorable career in World War II. He had 3 Purple Hearts before he went back in the Army after World War II. And he was killed in Korea. And he was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for his heroism there. Kenneth Carew. Kenneth Carew was an artillery soldier, class of 47. He was killed in Korea. Corwin Grant. Corwin Grant was an Army Airborne infantry soldier. He was a class of 39, and he is missing in action. He jumped on D-Day and has never been seen since. Also, he was my school bus driver when I was a freshman in school, and he came back after he'd been in the Army and visited with us kids on the school bus. Never forget that. He had his Class A uniform on. Pat Wade. Pat was a naval sailor, a master chief, explosive ordnance expert. And he was killed in Iraq at a roadside bomb explosion. Roger Finsky. Roger Finsky was a Navy sailor, and he's missing in action when his ship was sunk at the Battle of the Coral Sea. Marvin Finsky, that's his brother. Marvin was an Army infantry soldier, class of 1951, and he was killed in Korea. Ben Jenke. Ben Jenke was an Army infantry soldier, class of 41, and he was killed in France in an infantry battle. I have 2 others here. Roy Stanley and Clifford Norris were both killed in World War I. I don't know if they went to high school here, but they were from here. And Roy Stanley was killed when the troop ship Tuscania was torpedoed in the Irish Straits, and he was drowned among many others that couldn't get to shore. So that's the roster we have, and I hope that we can memorialize these every year for a long time, because they were great guys and they all died horrible deaths in horrible places. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody again for coming to our program today. Just a reminder that there is a reception for all of our veterans in the Commons area. When we were leaving today, I know if you parked out front, the buses will be pulling up very shortly to pick up students to go out. Please, students, when we're leaving the parking lot today, to watch for our guests that will be leaving as well. So we have one more number. First of all, let's give a round of applause to all of our speakers today. As well as our choir members. Let's set it forward ahead. Perform one last number for exiting. So thank you again for coming to the program. All of our veterans can leave at this point right now to the comments. All right, just want to make a quick announcement. Our students that will be riding the buses will pick you up in the old elementary parking lot. So please walk over there to be picked up. Everybody have a great night. Thank you for coming.